All right, welcome to the Lockdown Podcast. We are back with a full set. Tim is back in the game after life happens, and Frederick's there too. So,
Yeah, that one guy.
hey, fellow Uber rider turned podcast member. So you never know who you'll meet. So we're gonna get into what seems to be the same. I don't know. It just kind of the storylines seem to just kind of pedal the same path. Monday, basically, we had CM Punk come out, basically give the same speech, and I kind of agree with Drew McIntyre that CM Punk basically kind of comes out, basically says the same stuff over and over again. Like CM Punk is like a tattooed John Cena when it comes to the mic. Maybe like if you really actually think about it, because he's come back. He's basically kind of ran the same promos, talking about how he loves the fans, and it's the same thing over and over again. But so we have CM Punk officially and Drew McIntyre obviously confirmed, inside of Hell in a Cell, at Bad Blood. So I know we talked about this last week, but I want to let Tim chime in, even though we already know based on his letters below his name. So I know you obviously are a CM Punk guy. We have Drew McIntyre on the other side, and I'm just somewhere in purgatory in the middle.
You're just the referee.
I am the referee. So, okay. So I know obviously you want CM Punk to win. So based on, obviously Drew McIntyre, them kind of finally hashing it out, like, how do you think this is going to play out?
It's going to be, I think they're going to cross the lines with the blood in this match. Definitely. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, the Hell in the Cell is not going to be fucking red. It needs to go back. It needs to go back to the old school era, that nice shiny silver.
I mean, but we don't want
not the breakable, not the breakable one,
not the Undertaker and Mick Foley. No, we don't need that.
We don't want that one. No, I think it's going to be a great match. I think they're both going to tear up the house. Me personally, I think that's probably going to be the best match of the night. That's just my
Do you think it headlines, or does it kick off? Because like right now, the match card is pretty honestly plumb basic. We have Cody and Roman versus the Bloodline, and so honestly, any of them could honestly headline. Obviously, I don't think that Damian and Finn Balor. I think that might kick it off.
Yeah.
But we also only have 4 matches on the card at the moment, so we're usually around that 6-match card. So
to be honest with you, I think the main event's going to be the Roman and Cody, because you all know, everybody knows Cody and Roman don't get along. We all know that's going to be the main event. Right. And if they put this the first match, I think it's pretty freaking stupid on their part. But yeah. I think CM Punk's match should probably be either the second match or the third match.
Yeah, it's just going to be weird with like the Hell in a Cell basically kind of hanging out there for most of the night. Yeah. So, maybe it kicks off for all intents purposes. It wouldn't. Cody did have his match, against Solo, literally first match. So, anything can happen. So like I said, we obviously have 2 matches to fill out the card, which we have Bayley and Naomi facing off on SmackDown for basically the number 1 contender, which I think most of us obviously just want to be a triple threat, but I digress. So we have this continued nonsense with Pete Dunne, aka Butch. He seems to be like, he's going on every show, it feels like. He's gone to NXT. He's going everywhere, and he's having matches everywhere. I kind of respect it. Like, he's been feuding and just basically raising a ruckus pretty much everywhere.
Pretty much.
Like, I kind of like it. Honestly, like, because he is the bruiserweight, and so like I feel like they're just kind of letting him just run wild and see what storyline sticks. As WWE has a knack for doing. You
Yeah.
know, we'll roll you around on different shows and see what sticks. So, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to more matches with Pete Dunne and Sheamus because obviously Sheamus is kind of like, let's have a pint and call it a day. And Pete Dunne is like, no, I just have beef. And realistically, like Sheamus was hurt when the whole thing happened with the Brawling Brutes. So like it wasn't like he just left, right? Like
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
So
But I mean, it's also Pete Dunne. They're also waiting for his partner Tyler Bate to get healed up. So
yeah.
I want to say, like, it makes sense to just have him go places. Gets him more experience. It just gets people to know just what a quality talent he really is. And you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just helps them get more eyes on them.
It's just and it's good filler, honestly, because honestly, like I said, Pete Dunne's been going to multiple, NXT and other rosters, so it's like he's just kind of feeling it out on the singles side of it, and we obviously wish Tyler Bate the best to come back because we do love the big strong boy, and people underestimate the fact that he is a small guy, but like
Right.
he's a strong dude. Like it's like the same thing with a lot of the NXT stars that have either come to the main roster or kind of bounce back and forth. I couldn't do what some of those guys do. No
I don't
way.
think anybody
Like
untrained could do what they do. But I having Pete Dunne go places while Tyler Bate is healing up, I think is just it's spot on. It's a good call, and maybe it's a call that he made, just saying like, "Hey, use me wherever I'm available." Yeah, let's see what the world has to offer, see what I can get into, and where I can go. So yeah,
and so now we continue to have so now we have Braun Breaker facing off with Jey Uso. I think it's Intercontinental's on
Monday.
Yeah. So now for me personally, I think Braun's just kind of on a streak right now, and I feel like as much as I want Jey Uso to win, I feel like this Braun Breaker, the badass Braun Breaker, and just kind of him running roughshod and just kind of dominating. Obviously, not in the level of Gunther's reign as I see, but I feel like I want Jey to win a singles title at some point. I just
right, yeah,
feel like this as much as I want it to be, because I feel like I with the bloodline stuff going on, and obviously it's going on the other show, so he doesn't have to engage in it too much. But essentially the bloodline has been going wherever they want. They've gone down to NXT. They've kind of done their own thing. They're kind of unhinged. So I feel like in the next couple months, I feel like we're gonna get some kind of rehashing with the original bloodline versus this new bloodline, just because it has to come to a head,
Oh, definitely.
And so it's whether Jey likes it or not, he's gonna get spun back into the whole thing.
It's going to happen because you got Survivor Series coming up pretty soon here, and they're gonna have those war games.
Yeah, Survivor
Yeah.
Series is at the end of November, so I mean, we have plenty of time to have so much unfold. We know where we want to be, but like it doesn't mean we're going to get there right now. I think by the end of the year, though, I will say Jey will have singles gold.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
I will say that and call my shot now on September 22nd of 2024 that Jey Uso will have a singles title by the end of the year. So,
Definitely. He
so
deserves it.
you know, so
Yeah,
I just
he's
think
really working hard for it.
he needs to get through this, you know, bloodline stuff because that's like the bloodline has to. It's not going to go away because honestly, the bloodline in its entirety is deeper than the Mariana Trench. So like,
Yeah.
and so you know the Anawai family's popping out Samoans. So
Left and
you
right.
know, and so like I obviously the bloodline mentality, whether that's the bloodline doing things or it's just them being a collective people amongst WWE, they're going to
Mhm.
be around. Like they're not going anywhere. Like I mean, and so I don't think the bloodline members are done. I think eventually the bloodline faction will be done because Solo is garbage. I don't like Solo. I think Solo is a cheap knockoff Rock with a blonde mohawk, which I don't even know where you can equate that to. But like, he just looks stupid. He's not like the literally Jacob Fatu is the bloodline. That's it. Everybody else just falls in line. Like if Jacob Fatu isn't the leader of that bloodline in the next 2 months, I'll be very surprised. Solo's getting knocked
Mhm.
off his pedestal. He doesn't strike fear. He just strikes terrible mic skills in a ugly mohawk.
Yeah.
That's just
The only thing he got good going for him is the damn suits he wears.
And
I mean,
even those are
he just got them
questionable.
from the Rock's closet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would not.
what's
Yeah, you know what?
turtlenecks and chains.
I would not be surprised if Solo is working on behalf of the Rock, and that's the story that they want us to see, and it's just in front of us, been the whole time with the turtleneck and the chain and the
It might
gloves.
be.
So
I could see that.
He went shopping in the Dwayne Johnson closet.
yeah, definitely. So
He's getting some of those
I
Goodwill
mean, yeah,
suits.
I definitely buy that. Honestly, like without a doubt, The Rock is behind it. I don't know when he's going to present himself as kind of like if you remember back in like the Attitude Era when like Vince was basically like this other figure that basically revealed himself or whatever. I think it was
yeah.
with
It was
I think
the
it was like
corporate ministry.
yeah, the
Ooh,
core ministry.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
He was
like
wearing the red suit and he
yeah,
took
and
it off.
so I think that's kind of where The Rock fits
Yeah.
in. We're gonna all of a sudden because every time you see someone dressed in all black in a hood up or with a mask on or something, like you're like, okay, finally, like so. I feel like that's eventually going to happen. It needs to happen sooner rather than later so we can build to Survivor Series. I feel like, if, you go OG Bloodline with new Bloodline with The Rock, I feel like that'd be a cool match.
Yeah.
Do a 5-on-5 versus a 4-on-4.
That would be a great match.
And the thing is like, that'd be the first time The Rock's been in a War Games match. And so I think it would be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, to see how
and you have, and again, the Samoan bloodline is deep. So I mean, you have so many that could join Roman.
Yeah.
We have to look at it this way. Where is Survivor Series in Canada?
Vancouver, yeah.
As to say, you have half the people in the bloodline on both sides have little issues with the law, and Canada is pretty strict on that shit.
They let Jacob through last time, so I feel like they're just gonna cut him a check and screw the rest.
Yeah.
So
they'll work it out. Vince was probably more along the lines of, nope, I don't even want to deal with it. People now
he doesn't want to give up any of his damn money. That's his issue.
Yeah.
But
he's a greedy freaking old bastard.
Well, now he's all by himself with his Dominic Mysterio mustache.
I'm gonna throw this out. I'm gonna give him a little props to throw this out there for him. On Netflix, he has his own little TV show there coming out this Wednesday. And I will be watching it.
All right.
I will not. You can fill us in.
Okay, I will.
So I mean, we could honestly talk Judgment Day nonsense for 20,000 years. So we'll move. So Judgment Day defeats the New Day, obviously with the normal shenanigans of the Judgment Day and their goons, and you have literally JD McDonough. You got
That dude's
Carlito
a
still
joke.
walking around with an apple. Like they must just bring baskets of apples for him. But
Probably.
and so obviously they get interfered. Obviously, Kofi, unbeknownst to Xavier, basically had the LWO in his back pocket, and this continues to be, the division of the current 2-person of 3 New Day faction, and like we talked about before, maybe this going to be a divide. Maybe they'll have a match or two, get their stuff out, and make up. But I really think right now it seems to be we have a lot of Kofi doing whatever he wants, not consulting Xavier. And I think that's going to be the proverbial wedge that's going to split them for a spat. And like we said before we on air, is that maybe Big E is the peacemaker, of the New Day. I really honestly just want to see Big E on TV, not even wrestling, just being there.
They're like a ring manager.
But like, given the fact that we have Judgment Day's nonsense, obviously you can't have him out there because he can't wrestle, he can't get hurt, he can't get any physical anything. But it just sucks.
I don't want to see him in.
I don't want to see him get hurt at all.
No.
What he went through was terrible enough. He doesn't need to get put through anything else. I think for me personally, what he's doing now for the company is really great. He's actually reaching out, doing something different with the company. Just like with Corey Graves, he had retired from wrestling because of his concussions, and he thought he was going to lose his job. But Triple H reached out to him and asked him if he wanted to be a commentator.
Yeah,
but he might be coming back to the ring soon.
Yeah,
what I've been hearing.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot to break your neck. I mean,
Definitely.
I mean it's you really have to be truly at 100% to come back from a neck injury like that. Like there's no halfway about it. You have to.
And you've got to change the way you take bumps. You got to change the way you wrestle, and we all remember Draws and the unfortunate accident that happened with Draws, and Triple H was like really tight with Draws.
No, that was bad.
And I know for a fact Triple H will not allow someone with a neck injury to get back in the ring. If your knees are janked up and stuff like that, it's like, all right, well, we'll take it easy. We'll figure out something for you. But if you've got any type of neck injury where you're going to be in a wheelchair and you can't take care of yourself for the rest of your life, absolutely not. And, I would,
Bryan Danielson's getting there.
Yeah, I mean, with all his, little neck injuries and stuff. So I really want Triple H to take care of the performers, even if it's at a disservice for them. But also, too, I want Big E to be on TV in some capacity, but yet be healthy for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Well, I think Triple H is doing great for the wrestlers. He's actually looking out for them. He's doing a lot better job than what Vince did.
Yeah, right. And they're supposedly cutting down live shows, and I know me and Frederick talked about this last week. But Tim, basically, what we kind of came to the conclusion is that like if each show has one live show attached to it, right? Like a Sunday night showdown or, something, on like a Thursday or something, where it's like they're not pushing the performers having to perform 4 or 5 nights a week, and so we can get longevity. So when we get our on-screen stuff on, on Raw and SmackDown PLEs, we're going to get more healthy competitors, more longevity, less, because there's been injuries at live shows. And
Oh yeah,
so like,
definitely.
Yeah.
and so you don't want to all of a sudden have to change a story on, on Raw or SmackDown because of an injury at a live show. You want to really kind of protect the longevity of the business, and obviously, like, WWE isn't going anywhere. It's been around since what, the 70s, 80s, essentially,
I think it was like the 70s.
and so, yeah. And so, I mean, we're going to have to eventually, much like any sport, adapt to being safer. That's what the, NFL has done, and so, like, we have to protect the longevity of the business. We don't want to have shortened careers and, stuff of that nature.
I was
So,
to say, yeah, I totally agree with that. I could see them doing that, breaking down the house shows, having maybe maybe one show a week or so, maybe
yeah.
one
Yeah.
show a month or something.
Yeah, because I
Giving
think it was
some of
like
these
I think it was
superstars
like
a
every
break.
other, I think, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
definitely need the break.
2025 will be definitely interesting to see what they do with the house shows, because I don't think they're going to reduce or get rid of all the house shows in 2025, but they're definitely going to come back and it'll be
Well,
noticeable. But
I'm just pissed at the 2-hour change though, because of
you
course
know,
they're changing it, and like, they're gonna
it's
the show we're gonna go to, literally in November in Grand Rapids, is only gonna be a 2-hour show,
uh,
which because they're changing the format soon
yeah,
as far as the
it's
2-hour shows.
you
What
know
the
what,
Raw's gonna be 2 hours?
Yeah, so
yeah,
they're gonna start having Raw be a 2-hour show, and then I think the talk was SmackDown going to a 3-hour, but I feel like, I mean, I think it's gonna be a trial and error. If it sticks, we'll keep it. If not, we'll go back.
no, I think for the remainder of Raw on USA, I think that was part of the deal that they extended for them, is to go down to a 2-hour show so USA can start, changing over its Monday night programming. I think that it's fine in the short term, and I wouldn't be surprised, even though it is like a 3-hour show on television, that they won't continue to do like a 3-hour show. And maybe it's something along the lines of, hey, we've got another hour of programming on our streaming platforms for members or whatever have you.
Yeah.
So when the show shows up in Grand Rapids, on November 11th,
Maybe they'll cut it at 2, but we'll be able to
yeah,
see for 3. I mean,
yeah, they'll have a
yeah,
couple
I
other
mean,
dark matches and, send
yeah,
people home happy or sad, whatever,
yeah.
you know, let's just find out. And if,
I mean,
I
yeah,
was gonna say,
the
I
waiting.
still had to get my tickets.
I haven't got mine. I'm waiting. I'm taking Miley to Raw, so she's gonna
nice,
get to
that'll
see
be
her
fun.
first show. I'm gonna probably buy her a Rhea Ripley shirt. So,
So you'll be buying 2 Rhea Ripley shirts. Don't put it on your child that you're buying her the Rhea Ripley shirt.
I'm wearing that. Oh man, Tim, you didn't see my. Did you see that Bray Wyatt tribute shirt that I got? Yeah, it's like a blue. It's like a blue and like different color blues, whatever.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember you were showing
yeah.
it before we.
I paid I paid $40 for that thing because it was more of a tribute shirt that was. It wasn't Fanatics connected, but it was on the WWE shop, and I was like, dude, I gotta
Mhm.
have this. This is a cool shirt, so I'll probably
Yeah,
wear that.
I
And
saw that on their website. I'm like,
I
looks
might
pretty
watch
good.
on TV,
Yeah, we'll
people.
wave.
Yeah,
We'll wave.
people.
I'll zoom my camera. I'll zoom my phone in on the camera for you.
Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, it's too many people. Yeah.
Me and Tim will zoom on each other.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got I got that iPhone 15. I got that Zoom now. I got that Zoom. So
Oh,
back to the task at hand. But, so we talked about this beforehand. Obviously, Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed is a match that I could literally see every week forever, because those two go back and forth, and it's like you
wait,
got
I'm gonna call
700
you out on that.
pounds.
I'm gonna call you out on that. Remember, every week for like 2 months, it seemed like we got Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, and so many different types of gimmick matches a couple of years ago. Yeah, I don't want to go through that. I want
Okay,
this to.
maybe another like 2 matches.
Yeah,
Because
all right.
like,
Yeah.
because they need to definitely have a false count anywhere match,
Yes.
and you
Yep.
just need to let these dudes just go.
Yep.
And what was so stupid though is that they like when they went through the drywall, that was like the softest
That
thing they could
was
have gone
that
through.
was stupid.
You're like,
You
and
know.
they played it so hard that it was like, oh, they went through this wall. I'm like, dude, they went through some $1.50 drywall.
You
Like
know,
it was.
it's that was
uh,
Shockmaster worthy. Okay, let's just call it what it was. It was
yeah,
Shockmaster
we'll go the but like, but I want to see them legitimately go all around. Maybe we get this at Crown Jewel, and we just let them just go all over Saudi and
You know
just
what?
like I think that'd be
I don't.
amazing for the fans.
I know that sounds like a terrible idea. No, that if
Come
we.
on, man! It's for the Saudis, man. They pay a lot. They pay us a lot of money.
Yeah,
Well,
they
pay
pay us
WWE a
a
lot of money.
crab load.
I know,
So
but to
we need
have those
dude,
two
that would be
roaming around Saudi
insane.
Arabia having a fight, that just sounds like an international incident waiting to happen. And
Hey, you know what, man? Do it for little Jimmy.
Little Jimmy?
Oh
You can't
man,
see him.
oh, I
do
thought you
it
were.
for little Jimmy.
Oh, maybe
So
that.
okay,
Maybe.
so
Yeah.
we'll roll past little Jimmy, but so you have this continued Gunther basically denying Sami Zayn a shot, which if WWE Cookbook has told us anything, it's gonna happen, but Sammy's going to lose. I don't know when it
Yeah.
will be, but Gunther is not going to lose the top title to Sami Zayn, and it sucks
Not
because
happening.
Sami
Yeah.
Zayn hasn't actually won. He's won everything else but a
Any
world championship.
any world championship, and I think that is on the list of like
And,
why continue to fail surefire bets. I mean, just
well, I mean, think about it. I mean, it it's you have Jey Uso who's been on his own for the better part of what, about a year and a half,
mhm.
and
Yeah, pretty
hasn't got
much.
anything. And Braun Breaker comes on the scene for 6 months and gets a title. I mean, but obviously Braun, Breaker has been a singles competitor through and through, other than the brief soiree with Baron Corbin. But like, and so obviously it's easier to push a 90% singles competitor to be a champion. It's just we want Jay to win a freaking singles title. Like
Yeah.
and it's like, I know Frederick has said this a million times, like, well, he's just the main event. Okay, but like throw a damn title on it. Like legitimize it more beyond than it already is, because it's a draw. Like if
You know,
literally Jay went up on the rope and literally had a belt in one hand and was yeeting with the belt, like that'd be like clickbait for days. Like,
it would be a fantastic thing to see. However, you know, you are of the position of if you're going to call him main event, you got to put a strap on him. You got to give him a title. I'm saying like he's calling himself main event because that's his I
He
don't
was
know
getting called.
his
He was getting called
his
the main event. Jey Uso when he was going after Roman at first, when
right.
Roman was the
You know,
Universal title.
it's more of a nickname, a moniker, than it is like, a guarantee, it's more of a feeling than anything else. However, I 100% agree. He's like one of those 10 people that should be champion that hasn't been a singles champion, a heavyweight champion, or so yeah, just you know what? I could
yeah,
I could
maybe.
go an entire year with the World Heavyweight Championship being on long-term people, and we can either start with our truth or we can end with our truth. But long as our truth is in that grouping of people, I'm cool. We can put it on Jay, we can put it on Sheamus, we can put it on Pete Dunne, and then Sami Zayn. But long as our truth gets his run with it and it's celebrated and that's his way of getting his flowers, I'm great with it.
Man. So Apparently, you need to change your thing from hashtag Roman is cinema to give R-Truth a title.
R-Truth
That's
for
not it. That's
champion.
not the 24/7 championship.
I
Yeah.
don't. Me personally, I don't see Jay getting the Intercontinental title on Raw. I could see him maybe getting it at like one of those PLE shows.
Do you? Yeah, I mean, you'd so that it would make
Yeah.
more sense to have him on a bigger stage versus just a Raw.
Yeah.
I could see
Yeah.
him losing tomorrow, and then challenging him at the pay-per-view again for that title, and end up
Right.
winning it on a pay-per-view. I think
Yeah.
that'd be smarter.
I mean,
would
yeah,
think,
I think if you're talking from a business aspect, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that match closes the show. It's either going to kick
So,
off or close the
speaking
show.
of closing shows, Damian Priest absolutely destroyed Dominic. Like little to no offense. Just you just look at Damian Priest and you look at Dominic and you're like, squash match. Like I mean seriously, he looking sitting
destroyed
next
him.
to Damian Priest, he like Dominic looks like the Mexican Ellsworth, okay? Like he's just not doing anything, okay? Like Damian destroyed him. Like
Come
it
on.
was a cut and dry, just absolute annihilation of Mr. Mustachio. And I got puns for days. I think about these things too much. But yeah, and so
just like your rants.
exactly. Except for I haven't ranted in actually like months. So, I've kept myself under wraps, but I also sat back and watched you guys debate CM Punk and Drew McIntyre stuff. So I have given you guys the proverbial reins to the rant segments. So that is all you guys. I have let you guys rant away. So, yeah, I digress because I do that a lot. I digress.
We all do.
I take a step back, but okay. So we'll move over to Schmacky Down, and honestly, it kicked off the show with LA Knight and Andrade. Great match, start to finish. An exuberant amount of respect shown by Andrade and in his L, and so I really think, honestly, I like that, there are some rivalries that are just built on respect, and I think that it was very genuine. It was, I think, it was a good match. It was a good straight up match. I wish we had more of these just straight up matches, one-on-one, clean victories, no nonsense, just good old, just regular matches. But, it's in the age we're in now, it is not. That's not what we get. We get faction interference 90% of the time, and it just is what it is, honestly. So we had this honestly quite of a great video with Cody and Roman talking at Georgia Tech, where Roman played college football. I honestly thought it was a very, from a cinematic point, it was a great little bit, honestly.
I loved it.
And the thing is like, that's what WWE is pushing to now, is that that's why we get, the camera going behind the stage or coming from behind the stage. Like we're getting to see Gorilla. We're starting to get behind everything. And so this was just an absolute, well put together bit. And, they knocked it out of the park because obviously Roman and Cody's not done, but the enemy
Far
of my
from
enemy
it.
is my friend right now. And so, but I can almost guarantee that if Cody and Roman win, we know exactly what's the next step. Now, I don't know when Roman and Cody will actually face off short of WrestleMania, maybe Royal Rumble.
I'm gonna say WrestleMania.
So, I mean, I don't see Cody really losing at this point. He's just kind of the face right now, but the irony to the whole Roman thing is that like we hated him, but he literally called his shot. He said, "But when I'm gone, you'll miss me."
Yep,
And
100%.
and it's absolutely crazy that we want him back now. Like we ever since Roman left for after WrestleMania, and now we've been almost through the year, and getting him back now, it's like, God, we miss Roman Reigns. Like legit, like he is such a draw. He has a presence about him that just
Look at the way he showed up to that football arena, man. He showed up like he's a dang president, man, with all those damn cars, like a Secret
yeah.
Service and shit. You
I
got
mean-
Cody,
When Cody shows up in a Tesla or whatever it was, I'm like, you just poor, poor.
we clearly know who's got more pull.
Yeah,
Oh
just-
yeah,
just
One's
poor.
got
Just the
security.
presentation is like, we know this.
It's like a combustion engine versus a Tesla at this point. Like,
Pretty
yeah, just like
like Roman Reigns is an absolute Shelby Mustang, and Cody is like the comfortable Honda Civic. Okay, like maybe I don't know. We could exchange car metaphors all day, but like Roman's just on a different level. He's always been on a different level.
oh
I mean,
definitely.
He got the blessing from the American freaking dream that you're gonna be a star, and here we are.
He stamped
And
that.
here we are.
Give him the stamp.
I mean, he's the guy. He is honestly, and even John Cena himself said Roman is the GOAT. In not sense of like championships, because you don't have to be. You can be a GOAT without having championships, right?
right.
Yep.
And so
But you have to have this undeniable connection with the audience in everything that you've done, and he's really, over the last 4 years, he's done more to solidify that connection than anything he was pushed for in
Well,
the
I mean, but,
previous
like,
number of
even
years.
beyond his reign, though, like even before, like just being just absolutely dominant, beating, basically getting the second win against, the Undertaker at WrestleMania, like that was like the torch passing, if you really think about it,
Pretty
right?
much.
Because I feel like it would have made more sense, for the Undertaker streak just to be completely just zero and never lose.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I wish it would've.
the Undertaker, always using the moniker, my yard, and
Mhm.
then Roman kind of getting that pass to him is, a sign of respect in the wrestling game.
Right.
And,
and plus- and
and
plus
now
you
it's
had-
Roman's yard, right?
And plus, you had Cena passed his torch down to him too, gave him the
Yeah.
acknowledge.
Yeah. And, and I think that's just the good thing about the business is that, like, you never know how big someone will be till they just start doing what they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
look
true.
how goofy John Cena looked in the beginning, the prototype,
Oh,
like
God.
you never thought though, right? I mean, even think like the Usos in the very beginning with all the half and half pain. And I mean,
Oh, I
and
miss
so
that.
like
I love that.
you just don't know how big you are because the fans determine how great you are.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's
I would agree.
that's how it's been.
Yeah.
Because that's why Cody is holding that title is because the fans wanted it. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty
I don't-
much.
It was
Yeah.
almost basically Triple H was basically forced into basically giving that thing essentially because the crowd, the hashtag we want Cody was run wild. And The Rock basically took a back seat to that.
Yeah, and plus you had The Rock kind of help push that too because the whole Cody crybabies and all
oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
I will never downplay the absolute mic skills of The Rock though.
Oh,
Never.
he has,
Never,
he
ever.
has great
Like,
skills.
and he's so gifted at having you love him but also having you hate him. And I think that's the line you draw in the wrestling business is that like you got to know how to make him love you and make him hate you. I mean,
Mhm.
look at the freaking Miz.
Oh, he
The
started
Miz
out
is a
being
prime-
hated, and then now
you
he's
know,
a fucking lovable dude.
I mean, and that's
Says
that's the
who?
business. You
I
literally
like him.
you
Nah.
we got a 2-1 here, so you lose. But you're freaking
Take
salty Frederick. Salty.
Yep,
you
yep.
salty
You know what?
nut.
That's all right.
Mm.
So I don't even care about I don't care about Giovanni Vinci and Apollo Crews. I don't care.
That match was stupid.
I'm just gonna roll past that because I don't care.
It's funny
So
because
you
they won't
know,
push either of them.
no. And so the Bailey. So when I said about the Bailey versus Naomi for the number one contender, basically the match on SmackDown was them basically both kind of pinning Nia Jax. Basically, whoever pinned Nia Jax got a title shot. And like I
Mhm.
said before, we're really just pushing for a triple threat. I feel like PLEs, under certain matches, if there's not a storyline between two people, they need to have a triple threat. And that's, and I really feel like I want Tiffany Stratton to cash in on this. If they do triple threat, I want Tiffy time to be Bad Blood. And yes, roll your eyes at me.
You know
But
what?
I
I
like,
it's
I
I
want
don't
that. I'm
think
gonna buy that.
I'm mad at Tiffany Stratton and her booking. I think what it is for me is that
Just say it.
it's
Speak your mind.
they're pulling a Braun Breaker with her because they like her look, they want to push her. I just she's solid in the ring, but I don't know.
You don't buy the gimmick.
I don't. Yeah, I would say like
I mean, the thing is
I
like
think I think I would want her. This is what it is. She's a young, cheaper version of a Charlotte Flair.
ooh, that's actually pretty factual.
So I would rather have Charlotte Flair in her position because Charlotte's abilities in the ring outshine virtually everyone. She has to slow down. There's only a select few people that can keep up with her. Um, Tiffany Stratton isn't ready for what we're being given with her, but that doesn't mean now is the bad time or wrong time to
I
do it.
mean, so
At some particular
basically,
point,
I mean, she
they've
holds
gotta
that
get
thing.
there.
She holds the thing for a year. So I mean, you know, I think it would be kind of poetic for her to cash in after, and screw Nia Jax over in the end because it's
Yeah,
coming. It's
yeah, it
but
is. I mean,
you know,
it is coming.
maybe Nia just continues her reign. You
However,
know,
I wouldn't be upset if Tiffany Stratton did not have a successful cash in.
but why would they drag it out so long? If they were to not have her do it, they should have done a Drew McIntyre and just bopped it.
You know what? I think they want to give the Money in the Bank briefcase holder a lot of story time. Because if we look back on what we had with Drew McIntyre, I don't think
Drew shouldn't have won that thing for sure.
Drew shouldn't have won, and it wasn't. We all decided that it wasn't the best call for Drew to win it. However, it gives we're not talking about two Money in the Bank holders at this time. We're only talking about one, and I think that is the rhythm that they want to move into. It's either we have one that we're paying attention to and having story around, or we don't have any because they both cashed in, and that's what it is. Basically, we're just buying our time with Tiffany Stratton until her character builds up enough, either heel or face energy, and then that's when they'll start like pushing that story to come to a head. Whether she wins a championship or not, she's going to be a champion at some particular point. It just builds her character and builds the story around her character. So
we're just so basically we're getting a lot of Tiffany Stratton because she's holding the briefcase. But really, honestly, I think they're gonna start piddling away with the whole Money in the Bank thing, anyways. You know, it was a Vinnie Mac creation, and
And it's
you
not
know,
it's not a bad
I
story.
mean, like,
It's
but the
just
thing is,
that
I like how they do it in NXT though, where they have a tournament and then you basically have someone win. You know, they basically have the breakout tournament, and that's how basically Obafemi got his title because he actually went after the secondary title, which he's defending immensely great. And I think you know it's tough because we obviously love the allure of the Money in the Bank. We love the cash-ins. You know, obviously Seth Rollins has the best one of all time.
yep.
You know, and so it's crazy to like not have something of that nature. It's just they need to drift that PLE away. They need to just put it at WrestleMania like they did before,
That's the way it used to be.
and so I think they can keep the concept, but they don't need to like over sell us and like throw so much Money in the Bank stuff in our face. Like let it be something out of nowhere, not like because Damien kept pretending to cash in, pretending to cash in, pretending to cash in,
That's always
and it's
that's
like, okay,
that's the
cool, you're
recipe.
not gonna do it. Like, something's gonna happen. Like the false cash-ins continue to get kind of repetitive and boring. Because like when Seth Rollins cashed in, no one knew. Like he literally
He didn't even know he was going to.
because earlier in the night he got literally the greatest RKO of all time. Literally the greatest RKO of all time. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And they literally even practiced it and they couldn't get it down. But man, when the adrenaline's going, you just do it. So, and so like just the allure of him cashing in was just spectacular. But now we get all of this attempted cash ins or walking down with the thing. It's like we're getting like fed too much of it. And I think if we dial it down a notch and we're not getting Money in the Bank storylines so freaking fed to us so much, I think the cash-ins would be more interesting. But I digress. We'll see, what, the Triple H era brings us, next year, because obviously, I think Money in the Bank is usually what in like May, I think, somewhere in that realm, May or June.
I think it's June.
Yeah, and so, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a different era, where they're changing, a lot of the programming. We're getting Netflix stuff. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts just from the production aspect of WWE right now. We're gonna honestly start seeing these slow transitions to different, ways of doing things.
Right.
And we'll wait and see. But again, I think we all can agree that the Paul Levesque era of WWE is absolutely fantastic. And so
yeah.
I think the amount of knowledge Triple H has, like Triple H, I was watching one of the documentary things, and it was like kind of Triple H wasn't one of the best wrestlers, but he
Yeah.
was he was a studier of the game, pun intended, right? And so like that's why he's so good at what he does behind the scenes, is because he's a student of the game. That's what the word I was looking for. And so like he's one of the greatest minds, because he ran all the crazy gimmicks. He did, he went through the Attitude Era. He went through all kinds of different time frames in WWE, and he's basically literally just shook the globe of WWE, and changing things for the better, listening to the fans, and so on and so forth. And so,
Plus,
you know,
he stayed around with WWE a lot longer than half of them have
oh yeah,
from the
100%.
Attitude Era.
Yeah, I mean,
He never stopped. He never gave up on the company. He stayed there. I'm not saying like the Undertaker or any of those gave up, but he stayed there behind the scenes
Oh yeah,
every
I
single
mean
day.
it's him and our
There-
truth, man. Him and our truth.
Yep, him and our
And
truth.
we're
Yep.
full circle back to our truth. Because it's always funny to watch the clips of basically like our truth. His job in a nutshell is to make you break character.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
I honestly think that he is the greatest character breaker there is in the business. And it's 100% him. Like there's no gimmick to our truth. Our truth is just that person. Like he's one of those unique people in WWE that there was no creation of our truth. Our truth is his hip hop, his rapper name, and so like, it's our truth is just our truth. Simply put,
Definitely.
Yep,
he's
definitely.
lived through 3 eras of WWE, and not a lot of people can say that, and so again, our truth, give him a championship on his way out. Give him his flowers. Maybe he should win Money in the Bank. Let's say Money in the Bank like 5 years from now, our truth wins, and
Yep,
we get and then
still be going.
he wins it. He shows up the next night, retires.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Yep.
maybe he does a farewell tour like John Cena, and then he goes into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
See,
Yeah, he's
I've
definitely
written the
Rich
next
Mallet.
5 years of WWE.
Yep. We're done. We're done.
We'll never be back. I've just dropped the whole 5 years, so we'll see in 5 years. But Tim might have more gray in his beard. Frederick will have gray in his beard. I still won't even have a beard. So,
I got gray, black, and red.
dude,
There's
you
red in there.
like it's so you literally look if you had hair on top, you would look so much older. But like,
Oh no, when I started letting it grow a little bit before I shave it, you could definitely see all the gray.
dude, and the thing is, okay, this is how long me and Tim have been friends, Frederick. I'll set the
Mhm.
scene for you. Tim
All
had
right.
a soul patch and hair on top. Okay. like dead ass. Like that's how long me and Tim have been friends. We've been as friends as long as his beard has existed. So,
Yeah.
that is a
That's true.
friendship worth living.
Definitely.
Yeah. So obviously we don't care about the bloodline and Street Profits KL crap because that's just the same old nonsense. So let's just drift away to we have Bad Blood, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Liv versus Rhea Ripley, who's going to destroy her, Cody Rhodes and Roman versus Solo and Jacob. Obviously, that's pretty much the skinny of what we have currently. Obviously, we have 2 weeks, so we honestly do the whole, well, we'll wait and see, right? Because 2 weeks can change. So beyond the matches we have now, I'm thinking Sami Zayn and Gunther has to happen. I feel like Gunther can only dodge him for so long. And Sami has a case. He has a legitimate case for that title because guess what? He was the last person to beat Gunther. And honestly,
Pretty much.
Gunther's been a champion in WWE for 75% of his run. That is absolutely insane. Like, if anybody wants to talk about dominance in WWE, I don't care if you're Big Bronson Reed or you're Braun Strowman. Like, think about that. Like, Gunther is 75% of his time on the roster, he's been a champion. That's insane.
Yeah. You can't say it's not.
But
I don't think
Sami defeats him in the next time.
That's one too. I don't think that this match with Sami should be going on right now. I think there should be some other feud that Gunther should be in, and I think this match and this story could happen a bit later. However, they're probably getting this story out of the way so we could get Sami possibly doing something with Jay and the bloodline.
They're
So
still owed a freaking tag team title match. Like, I don't understand why we're beating around the bush about that.
You know what? I think they're keeping that in their back pocket. And
Yeah.
good for them. Good for them. I just, yeah, I just, it feels this Sammy Gunther story feels rushed, and that's why I'm kind of like on the fence about it.
Um,
Wanting it to happen like right now because we know that we have a really good idea that Sammy is not going to win, right? Unless
Yeah,
Gunther gets hurt.
definitely.
Gunther gets hurt in the match legitimately, then potentially he could win.
Yeah.
But if he's not going to win, drag it out for a while.
right.
And
Well,
just drag.
yeah. I mean, and I think because obviously we have, obviously the looming CM Punk outcome. Obviously, I think I think most of us are all pretty certain that CM Punk's going to win this. I don't know what Drew's going to do beyond this. Yeah,
Oh, it's
Tim,
Wade
enjoy
Barrett.
your moment. Enjoy your moment that actually, I'm in the middle that me and Frederick said, yes, CM Punk will win. You can look back at last episode.
Oh, I
and
did. I
yes, we
watched
said
last
it.
week's. I watched it.
Yeah.
Well, I just posted it like yesterday, but but
I still got the notification when
yeah,
when you
and
posted.
so I mean, I think CM Punk moving on to Gunther is a possibility, but honestly, like I don't think CM Punk's is going to win against Gunther though. I think Gunther's going to slap some more tattoos on his chest and in the form of a backhand of
He might have a little mark on his hand on his chest there, like an extra nipple, maybe.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? But you'll
I
be
just don't know
surprised.
I don't know who's going to be Gunther though. Like I
You
mean,
know,
on Raw,
I'm
who do
saying
you
they're going to
think's beating
keep.
Gunther?
I'm going to say they're going to keep that title on them to WrestleMania, and somebody big.
at
I'm going to say.
least, at least
I'm going to
WrestleMania.
say. I'm going to say Seth Rollins.
Let's if Seth comes back at the start of WrestleMania season. However,
He did show up at a Bears game.
he did.
Yeah, I just watched that over here, and he gets thrown over. He's like, I'm like, because I had YouTube up before we started broadcasting, and I seen it on the side here. I'm like, what the fuck? And I watched him. He's like,
oh man, ever the professional, and honestly, I am a Seth Rollins guy to the day I die. I have more
same.
Seth Rollins. I literally have more Seth Rollins shirts than I do any other shirt. So, yeah.
I love Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I honestly think, and it was funny though, because the other today, me and my buddy were at the store, and we were like looking at some of these glasses, and I was like, "Yep, it definitely looks like some Seth Rollins glasses. Like they were just some gargantuan, ugly as sin, like super like square glasses." And I was like, "Yeah, I feel like Seth Rollins at this point in his repertoire of coming out gear, like I don't think there's an outfit he can't pull off."
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, if you can pull off the boots, I mean, like the red boots.
Yep. Once you start down that path, and people start positively responding to you, there's not much you can't pull off that people won't be like, yeah, that looks good on him and him alone.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah.
the suits, the shoes, the glasses, like man. Ever the showman, like
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's the thing is too is like, how do you like when you go to a PLE as Seth Rollins, like how do you one up the outfits you've already worn? Like,
yeah.
I forgot what he wore. Like one of the last ones he was at. It was like it's just it's so above and beyond. It's something like you don't even gotta watch him wrestle. Just watch him come out in an outfit, dude. Like literally
Yeah.
put this guy on the red carpet. Put him on literally put him in like a fashion show, dude. Like I could see Seth Rollins retiring to go be a fashion model.
Yeah. I mean, he can definitely do it. Yeah, getting back to Gunther and his title reign, it's not going to be Sammy. It's probably not going to be Punk. It's probably not going to be anybody in the foreseeable future, right?
It won't be WWE. It'll be someone new or someone coming back.
Yeah, I just don't know when he drops it, if he drops it within the next 9 months, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I see him holding it, you know, at least into WrestleMania. I mean, obviously, WrestleMania is, 2 nights. I mean,
You
and
know,
we have plenty of things that could happen. We got what, about 6 months till, WrestleMania. So I mean, you know, it's gonna be epic.
right.
Like, WrestleMania in its entirety is just amazing. Like, honestly, like I think doesn't SummerSlam goes to Cleveland next year, right? For two nights.
Yeah, they're doing
It's not
something.
It's not Cleveland. It's
Is it Minnesota or is it
I think it's Cleveland.
Indianapolis or
it.
I think it is Cleveland.
No, they had SummerSlam last summer in Cleveland.
it's
I
not
thought they had a,
Vegas?
I thought they had a different PLE and
Where are they going for like 2 nights?
It
So
was-
Las Vegas is in 2025.
that's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because Undertaker,
Well, so they haven't officially listed it. It says WWE major plans may have been subtly says SummerSlam 2025 could possibly take over in Wembley Stadium in London, but I mean, obviously a lot can change between, things. So I don't know. I mean, I think SummerSlam being 2 nights is going to be cool. I think it's the second biggest PLE. So I mean, I think SummerSlam's honestly bigger than Royal Rumble. I mean, Royal Rumble has implications, but it's not like this culmination. So it's basically 2 Royal Rumble matches and then a couple matches and then we're done. So, I wish honestly Royal Rumble wasn't as predictable, but I mean, it's because it's like obviously they run the statistics, the numbers and everything, and they always say like, oh, no one's won from this or like, obviously you have a good probability if you're in the last like 10 people, so, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think we'll put a proverbial pin as we do. And I think, we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens Friday. And we'll see, if we get that triple threat official for versus Nia Jax. I think it makes more sense. Usually like it feels like usually the main like 3 or 4 PLEs usually are pretty sound, one-on-one matches. The secondary ones seem to have a little more pizzazz with, triple threats or fatal 4-ways or whatever. So, we'll see. We'll wait and see. We'll see what this week brings us in the world of WWE. This is the Lockdown Podcast. Peace.